Hey guys, my name is Swrinny and today I am bringing you a review for the game Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, which will be released on November 10th in the United States and Steam, and November 20th in Europe for the console versions. The game is developed by Edelweiss, which you may know from the games Fairy Bloom Freesia and XSEED, and is published by XSEED and Marvelous Games, whom I want to thank for the review copy so I can bring you guys this video so soon. Sakuna of Rise and Ruin is a mixture of a 2D side-scroller RPG and a rice farming simulator. And when I say it like that, it doesn't really sound that interesting, right? Well, don't judge a book by its cover, because this combination makes a lot more sense than it sounds. And I am sure that you will be surprised of how much fun this game actually is. The world is divided in two realms. You've got the lowly realm, in which the humans reside, and the lofty realm, in which the gods reside. These worlds are sometimes connected via a spiritual bridge, and this is where the game starts. A group of humans that are escaping from bandits end up on this bridge and sneak into the lofty realm. Sakuna catches them in the act, but a little accident happens. Stuff is set on fire, Big Goddess Lady is mad, and she deports both Sakuna and the humans to an island full of demons to atone for their sins. Their mission is to find the source of these demons and wipe them all out, but at the same time the group needs to survive. They find refuge in a couple of buildings on a hill, and this is the main hub where you can eat, sleep, and most importantly tend to your rice field. Now a little bit about the main characters. Sakuna is a little kid.
How dare you! I am a hale and hearty adult!
A hale and hearty adult goddess who is the daughter from both a warrior god and a harvest goddess. While being a lazy brat at first, you can see her grow both in combat and rice cultivation over time, and these two things work hand in hand. I'll come back to this later in the video. Now, while Sakuna is the only playable character, the humans all fulfill a certain role in the town. Daimon helps out with the rice cultivation and seriously has the biggest nose I've seen in my entire life. Mirtha is in charge of the cooking and preparing ingredients. The funny thing about her is that she is from a distant land that is based on the Netherlands. You can unlock Dutch cuisine and she uses Dutch words now and then. Kinta is a blacksmith and can help you forge new weapons. Yui is a tailor and can help you make new garments and hats. And finally we have Kaimaru. He can communicate with all kinds of animals and ends up bringing them home. These animals will stay at the town as pets and have their own jobs, such as catching rodents, protecting gatherers, and eating insects that want to harm the rice field. I say that, but honestly they're mainly there to be petted and carried around. Doggy, doggy, doggy. Oh, there he is. Come on. Oh, he's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Yeah, you. Oh, show me the belly. Show me the belly. Yeah, you show me the belly. Oh, come on, let's walk around. Look how cute, he even twitches the little ears. Come on doggy, we're going on an adventure. You and I, against the world. Each of these characters has a unique backstory and personality which you will learn through the course of the game, and this makes the interactions they have with each other so much fun to see. The whole ordeal is a learning experience for them, and you can see them grow both as individuals and as a group. Sakuna and the humans reside in a little town on the island Hinoe, but they are not alone. The island is roughly split in 4 areas. You've got the forest area, a river area, a volcano, and a demon fortress. Each node on the map represents a stage, and once you click on the stage you can see what the strength of the enemy is. This is the indication of the recommended level you should be before tackling this. As you can see, there are 2 numbers. The first one is the enemy strength during daytime, and the second number is the enemy strength during nighttime, which is way higher. Not only are monsters at night times a lot stronger, they also drop special materials that can be used for weapons and garments. You can also see exploration objectives for each node. These are the things you want to do in the area in order to increase your exploration level. The stars behind the objective indicate how many exploration levels you will obtain. The higher your exploration level, the more areas you will unlock, which is of course needed to progress in the story. Finally, you have gathering nodes on the map. You cannot enter these yourself, but you can send your villagers there in order to obtain items. Villagers can only go there once you've unlocked a dog, who will protect the villager from danger. Now let's talk combat. At first glance, the combat looks similar to games like Odin Sphere and Muramasa, but it feels a bit different. This is mainly due to the collision damage that you have in this game. When you use certain skills, you can knock enemies into other enemies and create a chain of big damage. Add environmental damage into the mix and you will be able to clear large groups of enemies with ease, as long as you are aware of your surroundings. There are 4 aspects to the combat. 1. You've got the light and heavy attacks with which you can combo. By pressing up mid-combo, you can transition it into an air combo, which helps you stay agile during combat. 2. You've got combat skills that deal big damage and can cause a knockback effect. 3. You've got raiment skills, which are used to debuff enemies and throw them around. 4. While there isn't an option to block in this game, you can parry attacks by pressing the move button right as the attack lands, or you can double tap the move button to dash through them. If you master these 4 aspects, you can stylishly wipe out large groups of enemies while being nearly untouchable. Both the combat and raiment skills are unlocked through farming, and you can equip 4 of each at once. During end stage and even during combat, you can switch these skills for others, so you can adjust to any situation. The combat skills themselves will level up the more you use them and gain extra effects. Take Swallow Slice for example. At first, you only use 1 dash, and at max level you will have 2 additional dashes with a much higher crit rate. There are 5 types of equipment. You've got one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, garments, headgear and masks. You can craft new weapons at Kinta, the blacksmith, and new garments and headgear at Yui, the tailor. As for masks, these can only be obtained as special treasures in the different stages. Each equipment piece has certain slots for enchantments. Some of the enchantments are bound to the item itself, but others can be added by the player. These enchantments can increase your base stats or provide certain effects, and can be obtained by exploring areas or by farming. This level of customization is really nice, as you can prepare for certain areas and fights without having to be stuck with certain equipment pieces. As a harvest goddess, rice is the source of Sakuna's power, so much so that Sakuna's level and stats are actually determined by all past rice harvests. Because of this, you want to make sure that you grow your rice as well as possible in order to grow stronger and take on stronger enemies. The rice you harvest is also used as food. Myrthe can cook multiple rice-based dishes. When combined with the right ingredients, these can temporarily make Sakuna even stronger and provide buffs such as natural healing. Rice farming is no easy task however, and this game makes that perfectly clear. You start off with minimal tools and 0 farming skills, which will give you a good impression of the manual labor that actually goes into this. If you don't like certain tasks, you can have Tama do it, but in the long run this will reduce the quality of the rice and thus your growth. Taking care of a rice field takes about a year and consists of roughly the following tasks. At the end of the winter, you start to prepare a fertilizer and spread it across the field. Then you use tilling to prepare the field for a new harvest. You sort the rice husks based on quality using mud or salt. Then you plant the rice husks to grow seedlings. At the start of spring, you plant the seedlings in the field and provide an adequate amount of water. Now during the rest of spring, summer and autumn, you need to maintain the rice field. Tasks that you do here are water control, to get the right amount of water for the plants. Catch and release spiders, frogs and snails so they can eat the pests that destroy your field, and make sure that the level of fertilization is maintained. Now I've just given you a very dumbed down version of what the rice farming process is actually like, but each and every single one of these steps has so many nuances and decisions you need to make. Just to give you an example, when planting the seeds you want to try not to plant them too close together, but also not too far apart in order to get a higher amount of rice. When it comes to water, the amount of water the rice plant needs is different based on the growth stage that it's currently in. Sometimes you need a little water, sometimes you need no water at all, and sometimes you need a lot of water. A dry and sunny day will evaporate the water, and a rainy day will add a lot of it onto the field. If your crops grow dehydrated, it will reduce the amount of rice you will get, and if your crops get too much water, they may grow too much and exhaust the nutrients from the fertilizer too fast. You learn how to properly make all of these decisions as you progress, and the game does a good job of not overloading you with all the information at once. Later on you can unlock new tools that make all tasks go significantly faster. There is just so much to talk about just on this subject alone, so I will leave it at this for now and will go a lot deeper into the rice farming in another video. So how do all these gameplay elements blend together? Well, in order to progress the story, you need to clear stages and increase your exploration level. But in order to clear these stages, you need to be strong enough, which is a combination of level, weapons and food buffs. And in order to increase your level and become stronger, you need to produce high quality rice. And while cultivating the rice and making sure that it is of high quality, you can replay the stages to farm items and make better equipment and high quality foods. All of this together leads to a gameplay cycle that roughly goes like this. You start off by having dinner at night and rest until the morning. Then when you wake up, you check the fields for weeds, critters and a good water level. You head out and explore various stages. You check out the fields for weeds, critters and a good water level again. Then you have dinner at night and rest until the morning. Rinse and repeat. Once you get strong enough, you can go out at night and fight stronger enemies, but make sure to at least have dinner before you do this, so you have some food buffs. The cycle strikes a good balance between action and relaxation, but it's not perfect. Near the end of the story, I ran into an issue that I explored all I could and the next step was a bit too high. So I had to do 2 more harvests first before I could progress any further. But thankfully there is a good waiting mechanic in the game which resolved it quickly. How long the story takes to beat is heavily dependent on the playstyle. I've played through the game quite efficiently and it took me a little under 30 hours to clear. After beating the final boss, a save file is made from which you can return right back before the final event and finish up everything you haven't done yet. One of which is a big dungeon that has a total of 100 floors. So with the 30 hours for the story in mind, I'm expecting about 40 to 45 hours in order to clear everything in the game. Overall, this game has been a blast, and even after the credits rolled, it's hard for me to put down. I think it's beautiful how they managed to blend in all these gameplay elements together and have it make so much sense. The gameplay cycle strikes a good balance between action and relaxation, and everything in the game is really up to you. And if you combine the fun and flashy combat, in-depth rice farm simulation and the heartwarming story, there is not much more that I could ask for. The release timing is a bit odd though. With the new consoles releasing soon, I fear that not enough people will learn of this game's existence. But with that in mind, this game truly is a hidden gem of 2020 in my opinion. So what do you guys think after hearing all this? Did you have different expectations or experiences? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Over the coming days I will be uploading more Sakuna content, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you found this review helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more in the future. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, and until next time.